The story begins with a 50-year-old man having a second marriage with Anna, who is a beautiful woman. The man's son, Livio, first objects to his father's second marriage, but he eventually gets attracted to his new stepmother. Later that night, when they are preparing themselves for having a good time, they are interrupted by a call from a colleague asking him to come over. This makes them annoyed, and he leaves after asking forgiveness from his wife. Following that, the stepmother discovers her attractive stepson while looking into the noise she heard. They exchange passionate looks before Livio leaves, wishing her a good night. At the same time, the old man and his friends set out to discover an ancient archaeological site with the aim of stealing precious items to sell in the black market. When the cops arrive and begin to chase them, the situation takes a turn for the worst, but luckily, they are able to escape. After a while, the old man returns back to his house and tries to have some good time in bed with her, though she doesn't show interest in it, but he starts having without her consent. The next day, as the handsome Livio and the other boys are having fun on the beach, a girl named Stella puts a love letter on his motorcycle, indicating her desire for him, but he only finds older women attractive. When his friends find the note on his motorcycle, they taunt him, but the Livio ignores them and leaves. After their honeymoon, the father and stepmother pay the son a visit and give him a unique present. Later that day, when the truck is being loaded, the father condemns his son in front of everyone for not making the right arrangements. Anna is also there, who feels sorry for him. His father leaves the town to deliver the items out of the town, since he is working as a truck driver. Meanwhile, Livio unexpectedly walks into the house and finds his stepmother in an unfamiliar position. He finds something attractive in this. The stepmother then goes to check on her daughter and discovers that she is missing. She then goes to her stepson's room and discovers that she is with him, and he is only partially clothed. A few days later, the old guy returns from his journey, and Anna welcomes him. The next day, stepmother and stepson are talking about romance novels while sitting beneath a tree. Meanwhile, the old man and his friends set on another adventure to steal something from an antique place, although it involves a huge risk. Unfortunately, the old guy is ultimately taken into custody by the police, but he comforts his wife and son, telling them he will return home in a few days. In the meantime, many men in the city approach stepmother to have a good time because her husband is behind bars, but she is not interested in having fun with them. When stepmother enters the house one day to get an oil bottle, her stepson informs her that something hits his eyes. A spark ignites as she walks over to assist her handsome stepson, and eventually, they spend some good time at the spot. When stepmother opens her bedroom door the following morning, she discovers her stepson sleeping in the bed. She wakes him up, tells him they can't do it, and gives him a warning not to bother her anymore. When Livio gets home that evening, she asks him to stay at her uncle's house until her husband gets back. The story changes when Livio gets home from partying with friends and discovers that the door is locked from the inside. He decides to break the glass to get into the house. When Anna saw him, she requested him to go because she was astonished. Nevertheless, the stepson shows his love for her with great passion. This time she can't control herself, so they have some great time in the house. The next day, when mom and son start having fun in the kitchen, the girl with one-sided affection, Stella, comes and gets shocked to see them. The stepson approaches Stella and gets her to swear not to tell anyone about their secret. After being freed from prison, her husband throws a party and gets high with his friends, but the stepson and stepmother are upset because they are unable to enjoy their time anymore. The old man meets Stella when he goes to the beach to relax. She tells him about his son's and wife's relationship that developed while he was away. Later that evening, at his house, the old man speaks in private with his son about wishing to buy him a new truck. The goal is for the son to put his business first and not to get distracted, involving his stepmother. A few years have passed, and in the present times, the son is happily married to a beautiful girl. After the party, they all gather for a family photo, and during this moment, the stepson and stepmother have a short but meaningful eye contact that brings back memories of their previous encounters. Share your thoughts about the story. You will like these stories too. Please check them out. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories.